Hey, what up, everybody? Steve Breach coming to you in my works parking lot, the same spot that I was in that I made the video for Dolph Ziggler that I won the contest for WWE and Doritos. I was just looking over the Hardcore Justice, the TNA free pay-per-view, sort of like Clash of Champions style. This was a huge hit for him last month when they ran the Destination X show on Spike TV for free. Honestly, by looking over this card, I don't think they're going to match the success of last month. I think last month, Destination X was a big pay-per-view that a lot of people ordered the past few years just to show TNA that they cared and loved the X division, and they wanted something to come back out of that. I think it was 2011 when they ran the Destination X show, and it was all X division guys. It was headlined by AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels and stuff like that. I know a lot of people who didn't really watch TNA anymore went and gave their money to TNA to show, Bischoff and Hogan that we still cared about these guys and that they needed to be, more in the forefront instead of, bringing all the WWE guys in and, pushing those guys. There's still a place for Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles at the top of the roster. They can make money, and they should be looking in that direction. And, you can debate whether if it worked or not, but I think that a lot of people tuned in last month thinking they were going to see that and saw basically just a normal TNA show that had a big main event that had a little bit of a hype to it in Chris Sabin versus Bully Ray. This time I think that people know what they're getting. It's just going to be a normal Impact with a few different matches. There's only 3 headlining matches on this. One ladder match that's part of the Bound for Glory series for 20 points. It's going to have Jeff Hardy, Kazarian, which is a little bit weird to have him in there. Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles. Four real guys there, 4 hearts. I guess Hardy was never in the X division, unless he was back in the day before I started watching TNA. We'll have to see what happens with that. And then you also got the cage match between Bully Ray and he's the champion. Oh my God, this is embarrassing that my mind went blank on Chris Sabin's name right there. I apologize. I'm watching people push their grocery carts around out there. And then there's I think it's a tornado tag with the knockout division, which honestly, I don't know. I know the story, but where the hell is Taryn Terrell? Why did they push this girl to the moon and she's not really even involved in anything that's going on? You got Velvet Sky coming back with ODB, and she's going to face Gail Kim and Mickie James. That match is going to be a wash. Really, honestly, who really cares about it? We'll just come out and we'll make the prediction real fast that the good guys are going to win. I'm guessing that the new push is going to be Velvet Sky going towards that Knockouts Championships. Easily, I think she'll get the win. Mickie James and Gail Kim are probably going to be 2 girls that just don't get along in this. They're teamed up because they're the heels, but Gail Kim wants to be champion as much as everybody else, so it's not like she's really got Mickie James's back. Now, the ladder match for 20 points, it's a hard one to pick because, first of all, Kazarian is a little weird that's going to be in there, but the whole storyline that they built up last week, he's got to have Robert Roode and Christopher Daniels watching his back, so it's sort of like almost like a team of 3 guys going in there. But then again, you have to think of, Magnus probably isn't got anything, really big going on, except for he's going to be in that whole main event Mafia versus Aces and Eights match. I guess there's another match that's going to be on the card that I forgot about. But, they started a whole, thing with him and Robert Roode, with Robert Roode getting him disqualified, making him lose 10 points. So you can see him sort of getting involved in this match and more than likely trying to get making sure Kazarian doesn't win, so he can come from behind. I think Kazarian is way in the bottom. I think he's only got 2 points from the countout victory over Daniels last week. Jeff Hardy's a guy that you always can think is going to push to the moon, but he won this thing last year. They're going to have him win it 2 years in a row. Austin Aries is somebody I've seen that ever since Chris Sabin won the championship, a lot of people have been picking him to win this thing now, coming from, pretty much coming from nowhere. He's involved in the whole tag team mess, and they never really gave him a the strong push added the tag team. They just sort of said the tag team, got resolved. Hopefully someday we can get like a real feud between him and Robert Roode. Not the one that we had last year, but over their tag team split. But I think they've already really gone in different directions. AJ Styles was my pick to win this whole thing. Who knows where they're going with his storyline? I was thinking his storyline was who was going to be the guy that beat Aces and Eights, TNA threw everybody they could at Bully Ray, and no one could stop them. They were too strong, and AJ was the guy to overcome it. But look what they did. Sabin beat him. So who knows if AJ is the guy who's going to beat him. But AJ was my pick. He was my sexy guy from the beginning. Honestly, with Bound for Glory, whatever happens is whatever happens. I was so looking forward to that, and then SummerSlam took over. Monday Night Raw came to town, and I won the Doritos thing, and now that's the last thing on my mind. Hopefully come October, TNA will be turning it around and putting on better shows. Last week was pretty fun. Hopefully this one is going to be good, but I know I'm going to be getting everything ready because I leave to go on my trip Friday morning. So I'll be watching, but I'll be doing other things at the same time. So hopefully we can hope and pray for a good show. In the main event, it's going to be a steel cage match to keep everyone out of it, but you would think this is going to be the main event. And Aces and Eights is already going to have a match. They're going to tangle up with the Main Event Mafia. Why wouldn't the Main Event Mafia surround this ring and make sure that the Aces and Eights couldn't get in it, much like the match that the other one that Aces and Eights couldn't into, or the Bully Ray losing. So I don't know. Honestly, in my opinion, Aces and Eights will probably overcome the steel cage. Bully Ray will win the title, and then it'll be back to how it was a month ago in TNA with Bully Ray being the champion. Now, I have huge question marks about the last match, which is going to be, the Aces and Eights faction minus Bully Ray going up against the Main Event Mafia. Now, I thought that the way they were booking this was, whoever lost this, the group had to get disbanded. I guess I was wrong, and whoever takes the pin or submission in this match is the guy who pretty much gets banned from TNA, I guess. So, Aces and Eights loses, they could lose somebody like Knox. They could lose somebody, they're not going to lose one of the young guys. But, it honestly could be somebody that just, who gives a fuck about. I know that one guy's already gone from the group, and, they could lose another guy, and it's like the NWO. Just because these are the guys that are on TV, doesn't mean they just can't bring up new guys. You've seen all these guys from Gut Check that have, reasons to do what Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff did, just sort of go against TNA because TNA didn't want them, and they weren't, showing them any love. They could just jump on Aces and Eights, and they could just rebuild that way. Main Event Mafia, if they lose one of their guys like Kurt Angle or Rampage Jackson, somebody to that effect, it's going to be harder to replace than anybody else. But I have huge question marks. I don't even know if Angle's going to be there. Everybody knows the story about Kurt Angle checking into rehab. Are they going to let him out of rehab to go work for TNA and get back into the same environment he was in before he's been fully, looked at and cleared? Or are they just going to make up some excuse for television why Angle's not there? Are they just going to flat out say the truth why he's not there? There's some huge things is that this will be the first time you see Rampage Jackson in the ring actually fucking some people up. That's going to be pretty fun. But honestly, in my opinion, I'm going to guess Angle's not going to be there. They'll probably go into this match as a 4-on-5. They're just going to be a man down. They're going to overcome the odds, and somebody's going to get fired from the Aces and Eights group. My opinion, it'll probably be Knox. It's honestly just the guy that they don't really need. They already lost Luke Gallows, whatever his name was. I forgot it. Doc. They lost Doc. They can lose Knox, and if they want to, they can rebuild with just the Gut Checks guys. But I think you can tell by my voice, I'm not really extremely looking forward to this show, but it is going to be like a pay-per-view, like a Clash of Champions on TV. If I wasn't so busy, I would really sit down and enjoy it. But I know I'm going to be, grabbing bags and put them in front of the door because I'm leaving first thing when I wake up Friday morning, heading down to the City of Angels for SummerSlam and SummerSlam Access. If you've watched this far into this video, last night I was able to acquire a Daniel Bryant VIP ticket. Gonna be meeting him. Gonna be freaking awesome. Got it at a steal, half price. Guy had it on eBay, made him an offer of $65, and he bid on it as soon as I put it on there. Honestly, it was like a minute. Sent him the offer. He accepted. I paid. He sent me the ticket. One of the easiest things I've ever done. I've never bought a ticket off eBay, but I bought this one. So, let me know what you guys think. I gotta put my pants on. Well, I don't have pants on. I have shorts on. I gotta put my pants on because I'm going into work. I think I told you too much. If I had time to edit, I'd edit that out, but I don't. Peace.